Tonight, we are with someone who says more with her hands than with her actual voice. And in so doing, she's become a de facto voice for those who cannot speak. A direction she said she didn't choose and would not have chosen, but what she was made and purposed to do. This is her purpose. Sign language interpreter and entrepreneur Antoinette Toni Aiken. She's my guest in the big chair tonight. Hello, friend.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
You're so soft-spoken.
Can't complain.
It's so funny. You say that there are people who, up until they hear you speak, did not know that you could speak.
That's so true. I get that every day. I get that every single day. If I had $1 for every time, trust me, I'd be a billionaire already.
Toni, you are such a paradox. So that statement comes amidst a backdrop of you being so bold, so brave, so staunch in defense of the purposes that you are passionate about, but yet so meek and so soft-spoken. How do those two things coexist, and how does that work?
I think my background, how I grew up, is where my meekness comes from. Mm-hmm. My father is a Jehovah's Witness, my stepmother. My mommy, she don't really go to church, but I grew up and my father would say, humility carries you through the world. And he says life is not just about you. The world doesn't revolve around you. It revolves around the people around you and even people that you don't know. So I think I always try to remain humble because of what my father taught me. Mm-hmm. It's just...
Do you feel strange speaking now without signing?
Yes.
Would you prefer to speak and sign?
Well, no, because I don't want my English to sound off. Because sign language is different from English, so I might sound a little off. And people are like, oh, she sounds...
Really?
Yeah.
A nuance in that most of us didn't know.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So, as someone who is meek, but also very bold, you've been in the news recently, which is somewhere that those of us who work in this industry do not want to be. But I saw you speak out, Toni, and that's not something you typically do. You don't take to social to talk about anything. But this was so important, a cause for you, that you had to use your voice for your community. And you say who you are is because of your community.
Correct.
Tell me about that passion and where that comes from, growing up in a deaf home and always feeling from the time you knew yourself that you were the defenders of your parents.
Correct.
As a child.
Correct. So I was born in the late 80s, grew up in the 90s. I grew up with deaf parents. So imagine growing up in a household where you're the only one who can actually sign. Yes, I'm the only one who can sign. So,
of 3 siblings?
Well, no, before my siblings were born.
Right.
So like my father's mom couldn't sign. My stepmother's parents couldn't sign. My mom's parents or siblings couldn't sign. So anything that was discussed from wee age,
Toni.
what am I say?
Mm-hmm.
What am I say? And then if they have something to say, I would then have to voice it back to...
It's the first language you learn.
Correct.
Really.
It's native. I'd have to voice back to my grandparents or my aunts or cousins. So for my family, I was like this little, whoa, she's smarty, because they never learned. But I had no choice because it's my parents.
Right. And your 2 brothers who came after you also learned.
Yes, they did.
To sign. Right.
The both of them can sign.
Yeah. You mentioned your stepmom. She's been in your life for the last 37
years.
Beautiful blended family, which is something we don't hear a lot about in Jamaica. There's usually some kind of... what was that like?
Well, my stepmom and my mom are very good friends. I grew up seeing my parents take trips together, going to the beach together. And I remember one day Daddy was coming to Immaculate to pick me up, and my mom was in the back and my stepmother was in the front of the car. And I was like, hey. And my friends were like, everybody in your father car? I'm like, yeah, they're my friend, man. They're friends. So I grew up in a household that even though my mom and my father split, that never stopped their friendship or their love or connection for each other. And it spilled over into love for my stepmother and love for my stepmother's kids, who are my siblings. So we're like one big happy unit. Even though mommy is not here, that they communicate with each other more than they communicate with me. So that's to show you how close,
Yeah.
you know, we are as a family.
And you were so protective of them growing up that it wasn't until you started to go outside and experience the real world that you started to say, oh my gosh, out here not nice.
And also,
Out here not nice.